Thanks, Brian, for joining us here. We're obviously on the construction site of Habitat for Humanity. We've got a lot of different things going on. They're taking inexperienced people like us and putting hammers and drills and saws into our hands, and you sit there and smile. Isn't
I
that
feel right at home.
come on. That's kind of scary, I would think.
This was, 7 seasons of disaster DIY has all come into play in one day.
Absolutely.
No, it's great. I mean, a lot of people come out. They're excited to help and to get some experience. And there's some great team leaders here with Habitat as well. So it's not just about helping the community and your neighbors. You can come down and learn a few things.
Yeah. How did you get started with Habitat? What was your inspiration for hooking up with them?
Geez, it's been, I think 10 or 12 years ago we did our first build in Streetsville. We built a couple of roofs for houses there and brought our framing crew down. And we've been in different areas, right, from Vancouver and GTA and Halton, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's just, I've always been taught if you've got a certain skill and the tools to do something, when you have spare time, you should apply those to help somebody next door.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is a great fit.
I mean, obviously this is doing something incredibly important for the community, but even with your busy schedule, it's always nice to be able to give back. You have to give up a day or two here or there.
Just to get back on the tools and get the rust out of the joints.
Yeah,
keep the aim sharp.
Much smaller camera crew today. Nothing,
Yes.
nothing so big.
It's nice.
You've renovated a lot of houses over the years. What are some of the favorite things that you enjoy when you're working on a house?
If I had to choose one job to work on for the rest of my life, it would be taking an old damaged structure and figuring out the logistics and the engineering and replacing beams and fixing
Really?
structural issues and just finding the solution to all the problems. I think it's in my DNA. If I see something that's broken, I feel like I have to fix it, and it's fun for me. It's kind of fulfilling.
Oh, that's excellent. Have you done a lot of work on old houses and bringing them back?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time driving. In my earlier days of construction back, the simple days when I was an owner-operator, myself and 3 or 4 of my guys, driving to Scarborough and the beach and you name it to fix some 100-year-old plus houses. And they were, you always find great stuff behind the walls. But just some of the issues and the changes in codes over the years and just putting that mystery together and giving someone something that is old, but it's safe and structural and modern at the same time.
I actually went on the HGTV website and I saw the little story of that Ziploc bag that you found.
Yes. Always, if you buy used hotel furniture, always look behind the drawers. You never know what you'll find.
So the opposite, what's the least favorite thing that you do?
Least favorite I'd say is waiting for bureaucracy.
Yep.
Waiting for paperwork and permissions, and we all have to do it. Obviously, the permit process is very simple.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is working with if you're building in an environmental zone, or if there's certain developmental rules in a municipality, and you're trying to make a change that makes sense, and that's great. A great example was the house we built just up the road here on Highview, that was on the edge of the escarpment.
Yeah. Escarpment is.
We could have, and if it was anyone else, just put a coat of paint on this place and put it back on the market.
Yeah.
But it was full of mold. The septic system was running down into the watershed, but it still took months and months, and the cost. So the system, I think, could be streamlined a little bit.
Yeah.
So the paperwork in the office part is probably my least favorite.
So for a home renovation, or maybe even for someone who's building a new home, what would you suggest would be the top 3 things that would add value to that?
As far as the room to do it?
As far as the room, or maybe even as far as doing something specific, not necessarily in a room.
It's hard. I think there's a consumer shift that's slowly happening. In the past, people would say basement, bathroom, kitchen.
Right.
Are the 3 areas.
That's what I've always heard.
Yeah, but, to me, I think we really have to look at how they build houses in Europe. I think we really have to look at what we as consumers value here. I see so many people that are house poor, living in houses too big for them. They wanted that square footage, but they want to pay, as low as they can per square foot. So they've got a house that looks good, but it's not built well.
Right.
It's not efficient. It's not going to last a long time. So to me, if I'm buying a house or if I'm selling a house, I want to point out that value in efficiency, longevity, in health and safety. Those are the things I think that really add value long term. If you're selling an asset that has an HRV, an air filtration system, you've upgraded the insulation, so it's not going to cost you every month. That to me is an asset. If you're selling me something shiny that is inefficient, is going to cost a lot to operate, and really, one day my kids are going to have to spend a ton of money to fix it. That's a liability.
Yeah, so it's better off to put your money into the things that you don't necessarily see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The things that you can't change easily are how a house is built, how efficient it is. Those are the things that cost the most. It's the cosmetics. I say a house, building or renovating or hiring a contractor or a house itself is very similar to your spouse, your partner.
Yeah.
When you're all dressed up on your best behavior and your makeup's on, your hair is brushed, great. But
wait a second, that doesn't work for you.
No, not for me, but for my wife. But at some point, you wake up in the morning, the makeup's gone, you're tired, you're a little grumpy. You better make sure that's a well-built, efficient, long-lasting, quality relationship that you have.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
It's we have to change what we value.
Okay. So you love to teach, I think. I get that sense from all the shows that you've had over the years. But if I'm someone who's working on either a renovation, or maybe I'm someone who's even taking on a little bit of a new build. Our cameraman Peter actually is ripped off the back of his house and he's building a whole new extension.
Okay.
Are there some things though, as a homeowner, that I shouldn't try to do myself?
It's a tough question because at the end of the day, we're building and renovating. We're not sending people to the moon. We're not curing. We're not doctors. We're scientists. However, you can take the time to learn how to do anything. If you have the time and the patience and the money, and you want to learn how to be an electrician, you can do that. Most people, however, the 99% shouldn't touch electrical, plumbing, gas lines, HVAC, even framing to an extent. There's a lot of things that the average homeowner that hasn't invested the time to learn shouldn't touch.
Nothing like a wall that's not square and level.
Square and level you can deal with, but explosive and hazardous, or a fire hazard, you don't want to deal with those things.
Not a good idea. So is there a project that you haven't taken on yet that you really have dreamed to take on?
I don't know. Yesterday I was on an island in the Bahamas.
I heard.
A hotel. That's pretty much a dream project. There's a few things left in my dream world. I'd like to do some multiplexes, and converting an old church would be fun.
Oh yeah? To what? To a house?
To housing, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's. Can you say that? Am I gonna?
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward down south to maybe doing some overwater houses that are
that's cool.
Strictly solar powered and fully kind of self-powered, self-reliant. So stuff like that.
Excellent. I'm going to shift it to more personal now. Okay. It's Monday. What's it look like for Bryan Baeumler?
Is it Monday?
No. Today is actually Tuesday.
See,
but if it was Monday.
It's Monday. Typical day on a Monday. I'm up at 5:30 in the morning, and I'll have a quick coffee and be out the door by 6 or quarter after 6. I usually stop by the office quick, and it depends what we're doing. If we're shooting, I'm driving to wherever our site is and getting my mic on and doing some interviews.
Double cappuccino or espresso?
Double.
Okay.
Double. Yeah, and then it's a mix of being on the tools, fielding phone calls and emails about the business, looking at future business projects, trying to talk to my wife occasionally throughout the day. Lunch, I usually work through lunch or have meetings, or I have to run around and pick up materials and do other things. And then I get home at 6:30, sometimes 8, sometimes 9.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I'm up until 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, your brain just doesn't.
Thinking about the next day.
I understand. I woke up the other night and just so many things going on in this brain, you can't shut it down.
Now, we're currently shooting Island of Bryan at our hotel in the Bahamas, and a Monday looks like I'm getting up at 6, going out fishing for a couple hours with my boys.
What do you catch down there?
Tuna, mahi-mahi,
really?
yellowtail snapper, right off the beach. It's we take the boat out.
Yeah. What's the longest shower you've ever, or the longest time you've ever gone without taking a shower?
Oh, without taking a shower?
Yeah.
That would probably be. It's not more than a day or two.
Oh, I bet. No, that's not too bad.
But that would be, you know, if I'm in the lake or in the ocean. I mean,
yeah.
I typically shower twice a day.
Do you really?
3 times a day.
Well, I guess you get really hot and sweaty. And...
Right. I mean, I shower in the morning, and as soon as I get home, I'll shower again.
Any dream bucket list car that you want to drive? And how often do you take advantage of maybe the celebrity status and have the opportunity to go on a track and different things like that?
You know, last track day I had a good friend of mine, Joel, was getting married, so we had quite an interesting group of friends up from LA, and we went down to one of the tracks, and we had, I mean, McLarens, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, the whole thing for the morning, and then the afternoon we went to a go-kart track.
Oh,
and we never
that is
had
so much fun.
And the first thing they said is, "Don't run into each other."
Yeah.
And we all just looked at each other.
You're like, why not?
The first question a friend of ours, Tommy, asked, he said, "What are these go-karts worth?" And the guy said, "No, I know exactly what you're doing here." But we had a lot of fun. I think, you know, I recently cleared some space out of my garage. I had a little Ferrari F430,
oh,
black on black.
Beautiful, black on black.
It was a fantastic car. However, I've really been eyeing up the GTR, the Nismo.
Absolutely.
Or actually, the new Italian design concept is beautiful.
Yeah, so I think you'd look just fantastic inside Godzilla.
I think that might be my next toy.
Thank you so much for all your time. Really appreciate that. It's been a pleasure, and we've really enjoyed getting to know Bryan Baeumler a little bit better. And best of luck, obviously, with your new show. You do have at least one person that will be watching it, and that's my wife, and
there you go.
2, myself. And yeah, all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can book a room and come on down next year.
Absolutely. Is it big enough that you can have cars on? Like, is it right on the island, or
road?
One road?
Yeah, there's one road, the Queens Highway. You go north or you go south.
Excellent. And how many many rooms?
There's 18 hotel rooms and 22 villas.
Wow.
So it's going to be cozy.
Will you switch to that, or will you just make that sort of like another base that you have available to you? You're thinking about it, yeah.
I don't know. My anchor's buried pretty deep in the sand down there.
I can believe it.
So we'll see. This might just be my slide.
No, don't say that. You can't do that to Canada. Come on, you can't do that to... How many countries are you in?
Well, we're in 32 countries there right now, which is crazy. So no, I got a few years. I probably got a few years left in me.
I would think so.
See.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's nice spending time with the kids, chasing fish, chasing crabs, and paddleboarding with the girls.
Excellent.
It's pretty nice. That's all we got. It's time, right?
That's all we have, and we don't even know how much time we have, so enjoy it.
And a bag full of nails and a hammer.
That's right, and maybe some lunch.
That's it.
Thank you.
Hey, no worries.
Pleasure.